right, here we go. Let's do it.
Question.
Yes.
So, just expanding on her comment. Sometimes the sensitivity goes really high. You're not even touching it. You come close and something happens.
Yep.
Is there a way to control that?
There isn't.
The smart board?
On the smart board, it's a little, I mean, you kind of have to press to make contact. This one is all controlled. See that box at the top? That's where your touch functionality is controlled, right up at the top of the unit. So there's not a way to like turn down touch or turn up touch or, so unfortunately not. And to your point, yeah, if you even kind of like get close on the Epson board, it does.
Oh, okay.
It can make. It can make.
Okay. I thought it was like recording everything, the whole thing being inverted like mirror mode.
So today's workshop is based on the Epson BrightLink is what the projector is called. The difference are these are mounted. All the functionality for these are in the actual projector, whereas the smart board that we just looked at. The functionality lies within the board. So this is actually mounted on a dry erase board surface. They don't encourage you to write on the whiteboards just because it'll kind of leave that film and you'll be able to see it. So just to kind of keep it nice and clean. As far as turning the Epson BrightLink on, you have a box at the side here. This has a couple different features. It has a power button, a button called whiteboard, and then a button called source search, and then a flash drive port. So the flash drive port, similar to the smart board, when you plug that in, it's just like plugging it into the PC that's behind in the podium. So just gives you another spot to plug the USB without having to kind of climb in the cabinet here. Power, pretty self-explanatory. That's how you turn it on and off. Whiteboard I'm going to get into, and then source search is how you navigate if you're in the whiteboard mode or in a different source. How you navigate back to HDMI 1, which would be the computer that's plugged into this. In addition to the panel here, you also have these two pens that come with the BrightLink. Nothing too special about these. They do run off of batteries though. So if you notice that they're not working, you might need a battery change, so you'll have to call the IT help desk for that. The only thing to kind of note, see how this one, you can assign them different functions. This one has a little blue strip. This one has an orange strip. And I'll show you when we work on the whiteboard, you can assign like the orange one to be the eraser and the blue one to be like a pen. So they can hold different functions and you can do multiple things at one time with these pens. Whereas the smart board is one writing at a time. So you have your two pens. They don't charge. They just run off of the batteries. And then up top, you do have your speakers on both sides. It's kind of high up there, but you can adjust the volume. And then your projector, obviously. And the touch panel that is kind of underneath the projector up there. So any questions on the physical setup or how that works? No? Okay. And then the Epson boards also do have the document camera in the classroom setup as well. So just as we looked at the visualizer across the hall.
There's that green one that we were talking about up front.
Oh, this one. Okay. This one. Do you use visualizer then on the computer to use this? Okay. I know they have some different makes and models because obviously that one's a little bit different and the one in the other room is a little bit different, but yeah, those are nice. So couple things. So if you want to just write on the whiteboard, it's not really something you want to save. It's just kind of a quick whiteboard surface. Epson does have a feature called whiteboard. Easiest way to get there is just press the whiteboard button on the panel here. And it'll convert over to a whiteboard space. So again, I wouldn't use dry erase markers, just use the pens that are on the side here. And you'll notice that you can just pick up and write on the board. If you picked up the other pen, This one is assigned to eraser. So they work in two different functions. Does that make sense? So this is assigned one function, and this is assigned another function. Easiest way to change the function of the pen is on both sides, you have a little pop out with an arrow, and that's where you can tell it down here, I want the orange to be, a large black circle, and I want the blue to be a blue circle. So you'll notice that this is now blue and that's now black. So you kind of tell it, I want this to do this and this to do this. The third function that this board can do is use your finger. So it recognizes, is it the orange pen, is it the blue pen, or is it your finger that's touching the board? So if I use my finger, say to select, I don't know, wide red, my finger is now red, this is black, that should be, didn't we sign that one a different color? Blue, right? Blue, black, that should be blue, that should be red. I don't know, it's getting mixed up, but point being, this is one color, this is another color. Or you can assign them just to be the same, so you don't have to get too mixed up into it. But any questions on the colors or the pens or all that? Yeah.
And just to reiterate, you get to this little menu on the side, right clicking on that little play button?
Yep, it's this one right here.
Okay.
So I'll show you what this mode is in a second, but it's just a triangle with a pen, and same on the other side.
Why do we have two?
Just either
Just
side.
whatever's easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Left-handed, right-handed, if you're seeing it on this side or seeing it on that side.
And then to confirm real quick before we move on, so, and then you just basically use whatever pen you have, whether it's a pen or a finger, select what you've got. Yeah. Whatever you select then, it'll choose.
Yep.
Eraser, so on and so forth, right?
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
And then the eraser at the bottom, the large one with the square.
Right there?
Yep. That's like a clear all. So that's just going to clear everything to
That's
us.
fine. Do you mind if I do it?
No.
What about the two pens on the top of the black one?
Highlighters.
Okay.
Yep. One is a narrow highlighter. I don't know why you would ever need that. That little thin line. But yeah, you have all your different highlighters. The functions up above, there's shapes and drag and select.
How can you have the font size, change the font size with the pen?
The fonts are
Like the thickness of the.
Oh.
the thickness of the line.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So see how on the left is like a skinnier circle, and then on the right is a wider circle. You see that right here?
Uh-huh.
So these are going to be a thinner line. Those are going to be a thicker line.
But you just have two, right?
Yeah, two sizes.
So I'm confused.
Okay, fire away.
Because it seems like you just click on whatever color you want. You got 3 choices, and you're right.
Yeah.
So how are you assigning?
Does it read
colors
whatever you
to
click
two
with,
different
like
ones?
your finger or your pen?
So it knows exactly. So Matt selected, here, go ahead and select a pen color.
Sure.
And what pen do you have?
I
Blue?
have a thick blue, yeah.
Okay. So I'm over here. So he can go ahead and start writing and doing his thing in thick blue text or writing. If I go here and I select red, this pen is assigned to be red, while his is still blue.
And the pens will remember that.
Exactly. Yeah, so unlike the smart board where the pens were just pieces of plastic, this does have technology in it that knows, oh, you selected red with the orange pen, and you assigned it to be that color or that function.
So the pens don't remember it, the board remembers it. Because you can click it with your
Correct.
finger and it
Yeah.
remembers your finger hit orange.
It's all in that
Okay.
that box, yeah. You bring up a good point. And so this is the thing about the Epson. You can save this if you want. If you're doing something on the board that you do want to save and you do want to be able to access later, I would recommend just using Smart Notebook, which we talked about, in the previous workshop. This is just kind of a temporary drawing space. If you did want to save it, if you did something and you're like, ooh, that's, really great, you do have a save button here. It's the floppy disk icon, and you can save that to a flash drive as a PDF if you did do something that you're.
But you can't.
You can't save it to the PC, sorry.
I don't believe so. Let's try network folder. Yeah, I don't think it's mapped to the network.
It isn't.
So you just have, it's USB only, unfortunately.
So the PC that you're working with, it won't save to that.
Correct. It only saves to a flash drive.
Our PC's clean anyways, every time you shut them down.
But you can email yourself, right?
Yeah, that's true. But you'll notice, unlike the smartboard, so the smartboard is a mirror, right? Everything that was going on the smartboard was also going on the PC. This is a totally different function of, this is a feature of the actual technology, because what's going on here on this computer is not shown up there. So they're kind of two different, kind of think of them as two different computers almost. So this is not shown there, if that makes sense. I know it's kind of confusing, but yeah, and it's USB only, which is, again, kind of inconvenient if you don't have a flash drive with you.
And you can't make presentations on this like you could in the Smart Notebook.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So again, this is just kind of a temporary whiteboard space. I just wanted to show it to you so that you kind of knew that it was there. But
Just it's a huge board, so you might like that.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for something more dynamic, that's where you go to Smart Notebook. Right?
Exactly. 100%. Yep. So other functions of the Epson board that I just kind of wanted to show you, because a lot of times people get a little lost when they use this feature. You'll notice that we kind of talked about all the tools, or most of them, that are in the side panel here. This feature right here, when you touch on it, sometimes gets people a little mixed up. You'll notice that it turns this into a split screen. So you have your PC on the left side, and then you have your whiteboard space on the right. So you can still write over there, but just note that that's what it is. It's turning it into kind of a split screen. So you could have your PowerPoint going, and then you could take notes or whatever you want to do.
So we'll have to turn on the whiteboard.
There you go. That's better. Yes, let me show you how I got back to that. Let me kind of start from square one here. So let me go back to source search. So here we are at the computer. So this is just your normal, touchscreen computer. To get to the whiteboard mode, easiest way to do it, select whiteboard. Which we saw the kind of the features of the whiteboard.
How do you create a new one?
New page is right down here. See the one?
So the bottom toolbar?
Yep. Where it's 1 for 1, now it's 2 for 2. So it's kind of like PowerPoint and Smart Notebook. You have you can add multiple pages. And then to get back to that split screen, all I selected was the side, and then you can modify that, bigger or smaller based
How
on.
do you move that again? You just press the little button there, the arrows? Nice.
How do you get rid of the split screen?
There you go. Easiest way, go back to source search.
How did you magnify it? Like, you were like.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So let me just write some stuff, right? So if you do want to make this bigger or smaller, there should be, I saw a little magnifying glass on the bottom right.
Mm-hmm.
So when you press that, and again, I'm using my pen, you can use your fingers too. There's a minus and a plus. And you can basically move up and down. That's right. Yeah, because I don't think I can move it around a little bit too if I need to. So again, magnifying glass, and then minus or plus based on what you're looking for. So this is kind of nice because then I have a nice well, if I have a list or something like that, I can use that, right? Ooh, maybe. But if that lack of symmetry is bugging you, you can always make it like that.
Bounce back out.
Something
Yep.
like that, yeah.
And then again, to just get it back to the PC only source search.
Very good, yeah.
Source search. Huh. There you go. Yeah, I broke it.
Cool.
Here. Exit out of
Yeah,
the zoom in.
let's get out of
There
it.
you go.
I got you.
And then let's try it. Okay, plan B, if that doesn't work, you can just move this all the way over.
Got it.
And that'll bring you back to the
All part of the show. That was great.
computer. These are the things that are important to know, right? Because you're in class and you're like, how does it do that?
Good.
And
I'm
then
gonna sneak it in this way. That's it. Still there.
you are able to annotate. So let me just show you kind of how Notebook works with the board. So if you want to use Smart Notebook and you want to annotate and take notes and kind of have a, I guess, a more familiar platform, especially if you're bouncing between two classrooms with a Smart Board and an Epson board, I would probably just, if it were me, I would just stick to Notebook just because I'm more familiar with it. I think it's a little more user-friendly than the whiteboard, but again, if you wanted to just take this space and write on it and use it as a whiteboard, up at the top, you do have your pen function that I kind of showed you on the other workshop. So you just have to select your pen, select your color, and then you can use that to write on the.
Rebecca, did you show them again how to change where that toolbar goes if they're not basketball players?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. So you'll notice that the toolbar by default is at the top, but with these boards especially, they're obviously mounted high. On the right side, do you see where the arrow is that goes up and down? That will drop your toolbar down, which, Tom, you probably don't have that problem because you're a pretty
No,
tall
but
guy,
it's just useful to know. You know?
But us
It's
vertically
like a lot of
challenged.
the students might not be able to, if they
Exactly.
to like write something, they might need that, you know.
Exactly. Oh, absolutely. You still have your file and save and all those functions at the top. And again, your PCs are so close. If you need to use them, you know, you can obviously just walk right over to the screen. So yeah. So other functions of Notebook that are still the same. You know, you have your screen shade like we talked about. And again, you can either use the stylus or your finger, whichever one you're more comfortable with. I have noticed though, I think it was your point that it kind of jumps a little bit. I've had better luck using the stylus, but it just kind of depends on how the board is kind of programmed.
One thing I want to make sure that we kind of uncover too. So my pen isn't writing, right?
Yep.
Because on the whiteboard it's different, right?
Yep. So go ahead and Matt, if you select a different color with your pen. So your pen is now blue,
Got it.
whereas my pen is still purple
So same idea as the.
as the whiteboard.
Yeah.
So they're two separate functions based on how you select it, which can be a little confusing because it's like, wait, did I select it with the orange one or the?
Yeah.
And so if you were doing this on the board over there, then we would be locked into whatever color the pen had.
Yep.
The pen was.
Exactly, and one of the major differences between this board and that board, that is a single touch board, so only one person can be writing at a time, whereas Matt and I can write at the same time, so this is a dual touch surface.
If you borrow extra pens from like the other board, like can we write multiple times? Like, you know, because you can use your finger, right?
You can't, good question, you can borrow pens from another Epson board, but you cannot borrow pens from the Smart board.
Okay, so like, but you can borrow from the Epson board and
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, you
know,
could.
4 colors that students.
You're probably going to mix it up, but I honestly haven't tried that. But I'm sure you can. So you could have multiple, multiple pens doing multiple things. So, same functions. I know we kind of touched on this on the other workshop. Same functions for PowerPoint as well. So you could just pick up your pen. Here, let me just open a PowerPoint. Or you could do the file import like we talked about from the other workshop. Let me show you.
Also, like, can you show us how to do use the mouse function? I see the mouse. I use the PowerPoint a lot, but I do use the computer, not the board, because it kind of like keeps. Frankly speaking, I don't know how to use it.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're specifically in PowerPoint or just kind of in general?
PowerPoint and in general, that would be good.
Yeah, the easiest way, so if you want to just, use it like a mouse and you're advancing your slides, I would recommend putting the pens back in the holder, just because if a pen is close, it kind of recognizes that as you want to write or you want to use another feature. So I always kind of put the pens aside, and then if you want to just, obviously go through your PowerPoint, if you just tap, that should give you your toolbar at the bottom here, and that's how you can then advance your slides. It does fade out in like 2 seconds. It's pretty quick. This one used to have that tap feature, but so yeah, you would just kind of navigate through. If you wanted to write on your PowerPoint in the Epson board, the easiest way is, again, I'm more comfortable using a stylus just because I think it's a little more natural. But you'll notice in PowerPoint, you do have that pen function, kind of what we were talking about in the previous workshop, where then you can then, select your color and write, directly in your presentation. If you go on to the next page, see, look, they were aligned. Notebook had them shifted. And you go back, your annotations do stay with the previous screen. So if you write, and then when you get to the end of your presentation, or you close out of it, you're done writing on it, it's going to ask you, do you want to keep your ink? And then it inserts your ink as an individual image, or do you want to discard your annotations? So at that point, like I said in the previous workshop, take a minute to think about that, because if you do select keep, I'll show you what happens.
I've done that.
Have you?
Yeah.
It's frustrating, right? Because then you have to go through and like delete.
It's just like, I did my mistakes, so I had to like literally
click and delete everything. It is extremely frustrating. Delete. So, anyways, and sometimes if you write and you pick up your pen between strokes, that's like 2 different images. So, anyways, it can be frustrating. And so yeah, that is that's kind of using the Epson board in the PowerPoint screen. With PDFs, let me export this as a PDF.
Sometimes it kind of just like zooms in or zooms out, or especially zooms out.
Which view are you in? Are you in the whiteboard, or are you in your computer? Oh, in PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Are you in the slideshow, or are you, sorry, all these questions, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's, I'm trying to recreate it, like this. Is it doing like this kind of thing?
Uh-huh. Sometimes you're just walking by. It does that.
Like you're. Now I'm trying to do it again.
No, me too.
It's like your sweater almost like.
Let me try it real quick. Yeah.
No, I mean like you are near the table and it kind of does that for you.
It's like a ghost, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, if that does happen, the 2 fingers, it's kind of like an iPad.
Yeah.
That's how you zoom. So if it happens, I'm trying to recreate it and it's making more of a mess here, but just use kind of the 2 fingers. The other feature, I guess I sometimes just hit escape, get out of the presentation mode and then start again from the current slide.
That's what I did today.
And then it seems to kind of reset itself. But It's annoying to have to do that. But yeah, the 2-finger zoom sometimes.
Yes, normally if it's very hot or very cold, that does that.
Really? Well, it's really cold today, so no wonder it happened. Right? I wonder if the temperature has something to do with it. That's interesting. It must. I've not heard that before, but so yeah, that's PowerPoint. PDF files. Let me do. So if you're in a PDF and you just pick up the pen to write, you'll notice that it's just using the pen like a mouse, right? So if you want to write in the on the PDF, I would import that into Notebook. It just seems to work a lot better, just like we did in the previous workshop. Just open your PDF and then go to File, Print, and then in your options of printers, it's usually the last one, and it just says Send to Smart Notebook. Let's just do like 2 pages. And then select Print, and then it'll open it'll open a brand new notebook file with your PDF on each page. So sometimes it takes a second, but it did pop up here at the bottom.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh. Well, that's kind
Can
of
you rotate those or no?
Yeah, you can. That's interesting. I've never seen it come in upside down. Easiest way to rotate it, if this does happen to you, at the top of the page there's a green circle, and that's how you can turn it. And then in the bottom, we're rotated, so now I gotta find it.
There's no auto fit or anything?
There we go. And the bottom left, that's how you can resize.
I have another thought real quick too.
Yeah.
Click, don't want to boss around for a second. Click File Print, please. All right. Auto Portrait Landscape. So I'm going to have this change to landscape. And then I'm going to have you print, let's just do current page just for kicks. I got you.
Oh yeah, let's see if that works.
And then print, please. I just want to see if that makes it better. It's just probably it's translating out of Adobe a certain way, and maybe.
There you go.
Nice.
Smart idea.
Cool,
Did you see what he clicked? Mm-hmm. Landscape. So you force it into landscape.
So in Adobe, there's a landscape setting. There's an auto setting, and sometimes I see that cause issues with any sort of printer, let alone a smart printer. So if you just say landscape or portrait, if it's portrait, then you're not leaving it up to the program to make the decision. You're saying, I'm the boss. You look the way I want it to, and then it'll do it. Cool.
Smart idea. I like that. Yeah, because that's annoying to have to like rotate each individual one.
I'll give you 1 or 2 tips per hour.
Is that free with our included admission today? Let's see. Any other questions on PowerPoint, PDF, Notebook, the whiteboard?
And same thing like with the saving anything, exporting, importing.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yes. So with Smart, was it in relation to Smart Notebook? Is that what you're getting to? Okay. Yep. So if you had your Smart Notebook file, which is here, file save, and that's going to save it as a .notebook file. So that's what you just have to be cautious of with that file type. But if it's something that you wanted to share with your students or upload to Blackboard, it's just file and then export as, and then I would just choose PDF. And that's again where it gets into, different layouts, how you want it to look. Do you want thumbnails? Do you want full page? Do you want it landscape? Do you want it portrait? You just have a lot of different options. And then you just hit save, and then it'll ask you where you want to save it as that PDF file type, so that you can save to a flash drive or Blackboard, or if you use Google storage or anything like that.
So Smart Notebook, if you just have your Smart Notebook software on your iPad or on your desktop, you can still work those files, or does it need to be connected to Epson World?
Yeah, there is an online platform of Smart Notebook. So you could get in there and manipulate. Let's see. What is it? Smart Notebook Online. I know they changed the name of it.
Lumio?
Lumio, yep. Lumio is what it's called.
Does that ring a bell, Lumio, Lumio? It's lum.io, by the way, for the website.
Lumio. So you can use Lumio, and basically what this is it's a you just do get it for free.
Yep.
Again, you have to have another credential, another login, but
You
it's
can use mine if you want to show it. I can
sure.
show it.
Do you want to do Google?
I got it.
So this is an online version of Smart Notebook. So if you
Are they compatible?
yeah.
So
Yep.
I can at home make the file and
Yep.
export it up here.
Absolutely, you can do it on an iPad. This is all just web-based, so I might ask you to like confirm,
That's kind of
send you a text and all that nonsense.
Okay.
71. So it's a pretty user-friendly way to kind of connect home to. Gotta love it. Oh,
One more. This will happen the first time you do it, and then it'll be fine, so I don't want you to fret over that. Oh, come on, I'm already there. Give me a quick second.
so many steps.
It's odd because I have an account.
I know, but it doesn't recognize this computer, this
Yeah,
login,
yeah.
so it's flagging it.
But here's the thing. So you can do this anywhere. So you can be at home. You don't necessarily even need Smart Notebook on a computer, right? So what you can do is you can log in against lum.io. If you click New on the top left, what will happen is you can import resources from several different sites. So Google Drive, if you use Google Drive, My Computer for folders that you might have other
PowerPoint.
files in. Yep.
Mhm.
My library is going to be Lumio's library of files that you might already have. But then you can also create new pages. So for instance, this might look pretty basic, but it's because it is, right? They're going a little bit more to the simplified side. So what you've got is a blank page. There's a lot of learning that it'll let you do here, but you can create text, photos. I'm going to go pretty quick here, so forgive me. Shapes. There's a gallery on the left where you can upload images and videos and things like that. But basically, you're just making single pages, and as you click the plus on the bottom left, you have more. You can add YouTube videos. So instead of having links to go to YouTube or anything like that, you can actually search. Do me a favor, I'm going to bust around. What do you want to search for today? What do you want to look at?
A beach.
The beach? Yeah, I got you. So tropical ambient, that's an 8-hour video. We're going to probably not do that. Yeah, I will share this with you too. If you want to take a quick look at these, make sure it's what you want. So you can click the little play button on the bottom right to preview it, right? So that looks like they're having a fun time. But the whole point, this is, you know, my kid loves. But the key thing here, beach wheel, got it. So the key thing is you would just select whatever you want, click add, and then you've got it. So notice page 1 is a blank sheet where you might want to have writing, and you can look at it, whatever you got to do. Then you go to page 2, and that's just a video, right? And then we'll show a beached whale, if that's what we're talking about today. Keep clicking the plus, forgive me there. You've got new pages. Like I said, I want to go through a couple of these here. So you have different types of graph paper, line paper. This takes some exploration. There's a whole resource that we'll share at the end for this. But certain things for math, grid paper, so on and so forth if you want. And you just add pages, right? Now you can have content here too. Like I said, I'm using my hands for this on a huge board, but imagine this is on a computer, right? And we don't have to be necessarily on the board to be creating this. We're at home, we're at a break, we're at lunch, whatever we've got to do, right? There it is, make it bigger, smaller, you've got it. No animations, no, what'd you call it? Sorry, I'm blanking. Screen shade or anything like that, so pretty basic. But this is a basic version of Notebook. Now, what you would do is then at the very top, you would just type in and title whatever this is, right? Thank you. And then you would click Finish Editing on the top left after that. And then you got it. So now I have this one set to go straight to my Google Drive, but you can also come to Lumio, this website, and grab it, and then you would just start the lesson, and then it's going to pop up and it'll show it as if it's its own Smart Notebook file. So for instance,
if you want to use it in actual Notebook in the program on the computer, you can download these, right?
you may not do anymore.
Is that no longer an option?
They changed it up.
Okay. Make a copy, share the link. And then you got it. Okay. So yeah, you can import in, but I guess you cannot export out if.
Yep.
But here's the file then, obviously. And you
Yep.
can kind of
There's my blank. There's my huge video, right? And then my sample, right?
You can save it to your Google Drive though.
Yep.
Okay.
So the credentials that Matt used to log in,
That's me.
that is the Google Drive account that these are all saved to.
So if
It'd
we
be your
use
schools.
school email to log in, can you save it on our school OneDrive?
Are you
Yep.
OneDrive? Yeah, for sure. I use Google for this one just because that's what I use. If you have a Microsoft account like OneDrive, use that.
College OneDrive.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Does
Same idea.
is your Triton emails, are they Google based or are they Microsoft based? Like, do you use Outlook or?
They're Outlook based.
Okay,
So that's Microsoft.
so OneDrive, yeah.
So the key thing to be very clear, though, this is more for kind of Smart, who developed this, is moving more online, right? So you just access this bucket of files that you can then do, right? So they work really well with Google. Microsoft, not so much. It doesn't go to SharePoint or anything like that yet. I'm sure that's on their roadmap, but you would just go to this site, Lumio, LUM.io, log in, and then you've got all your files.
Yeah, I mean, like those seem good for lab discussions and all those things.
Yeah,
Like
just
where you
click them
have
up.
Yep.
files and things for the students to discuss.
And if you have existing notebook files or PowerPoints, you can easily just click import.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
then,
sorry.
that's okay. And then you can just import them right into your online library, right there.
The other thing that you can do is you can find in Lumio's library other resources.
So these are kind of like templates that other teachers and instructors have shared. Some of these are pretty young, but some of them are secondary. You kind of filter and
Yep.
if there's something that you're working on, even like stress, right?
And a lot of them are just templates, right? Jeopardy, this, that, whatever, right? You don't want to build a program like that, right?
What's your weather? Not sure how that has to do with stress, but yeah, some of them are some are better than others, but.
Yep. And these are all just made by teachers, so.
And if you like it, so if you looked at this one and you're like, yeah, that works, you just click Save to My Library. And then it'll show up eventually, after it's done importing, into this tab up here that says My Library.
Yep. Yeah, I'll take a moment, but no worries.
It'll take a minute, but so there's a whole resource out there of already created content. There you go.
And again, you can edit it and just build on it, right? You don't have to use it exactly how it is. You can say, I want to add pages, edit pages, so on and so forth, right?
Yep.
And then plus button still on that bottom left.
So anyway, might be something to use.
It's our tool.
Yeah.
So this is the only one that's there, or are there other resources in which we can do it offline offline is off board and bring it in? Or...
I think Lumio is basically it for
Yeah.
your not connected to a board resource.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if you don't have Smart Notebook on a computer,
Yeah.
this is what you would use.
Absolutely.
And then you can edit and share the link to that, and then you can send it to yourself or other people, and then you can open it up that way, that file.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
So is the smart notebook only PC based, or is it like Apple friendly too?
Yeah, you can have it on Apple.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I know
Now,
the
like,
licensing at Triton, I think they have X amount of licenses for the PCs that the smart boards are connected to, but they do have licensing for you to have the online account. So I don't think they have extra licenses for you to download Smart Notebook on your home computer, but they do have licenses to use this. Does that make sense?
So licenses to use it.
So I'm gonna go back real quick.
Mm-hmm. I didn't do a very good job explaining
You're
that.
fine. You're good. So right now, and I show this for people because a lot of times we come in and people don't have this set up yet. I have maybe 10 files on here, and I can upgrade to a licensed account, right? But this is what you would see. You have a certain space to basically test it and try it. You already have an account, right? It's tied to whatever your school email is. So if you logged in, create an account, basically, it would then say you have unlimited space to create as many online files as you want.
So your Triton.edu
email
is tied to it's tied to the license on that Triton purchases.
So again, if you go to lum.io, that's the entire website. It's a little odd sounding. They had to change their branding around. So again, just go to lum.io. That's where you would go. Sign in, create an account. Yeah, you might actually be on it now, right?
But the nice thing about this is it doesn't matter what. So back when they just had not an online version of software, but a PC version, there was different versions, and if you had a Mac or if you had a PC, and the nice thing about this is it's universal. So you have an iPad, you might have just a Chromebook or whatever. Anybody can use it because it's just.
It's asking for approval required.
Oh, and that is that a work computer or
No,
work
this
device?
is my personal device.
If you don't mind me looking. So that would be probably 19 inch, that's exciting.
That's exciting.
You would basically say lessons. Then your request. There you go. Request approvals. I think that's just an administrative. Maybe they just don't want a bunch of apps you put on a company device. You said it's your own device, though?
Mm-hmm.
I know we zipped through this part, and it's not really related to the Epson. You can do this on any device. But any questions? More questions, I should say, on this. Let me show you this. There's a resource. I gotta navigate to it. That'll go through this too. No. Give me a second. They just changed it, so I occasionally struggle with it. Oh gosh. Smart Tech. I'll get there. Nope. Okay, resources. There we go. Mm-hmm. Come on. Do this. quick second. They just changed it, so I'm not a huge fan. There we go. The old way. Right here. So there's teacher guides for Lumio. If you just go to smartdeck.com/resources. So there's these little videos. Have you gone through this?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Very simple things, right? So you can watch them, they're 1 minute, right? I mean, nothing's better than an hour or two training, but very simple stuff, right? The other thing too is we can go back and see like Lumio, right here, there's a teacher guide on how to build files, how to combine files, so on and so forth. And then they'll just show you, we kind of already went through this one, but again, minute 22, it'll walk you through it, right? So just quick little things, just reminders, right? That maybe you've forgotten over the weeks, months, whatever it may be. So again, just to get back to where you would get to this. So if you go to smarttech.com/learning, I go to resources here. So I go to support and then getting started up top. And then that's a really nice way to just get started on this kind of stuff.
Perfect. Any other questions? Any other? No? It's a lot to take in, isn't it?
Can you go back to the white screen just for 1 second?
The white screen, yeah.
Easy to touch of a button.
There you
I
go.
wanted to explore that share button. Where did that share to? Right next to the home button?
So you can share. I don't think it is set up on this, but on these devices, because I don't think they have them on the network.
Yeah.
But maybe hit start and see what
Sure.
it says.
Yeah, there's no QR code.
There's something about sharing this on the telephone.
Is that if it was on the network, you'd be able to see it?
I think so. I don't think they have these connected to the Triton
Yeah.
network. The individual projectors, that is.
You know, if it was, it would say connected, go to the site, you can click the site, and then the students or whoever was getting this shared to them would then be able to type in a PIN code and see it on their device.
And I don't know what the reasoning was behind that. I'm sure maybe that it would bog down the network too much. I'm not sure.
Probably security too.
Yeah, probably like, if anyone can connect it to, they can, if it's connected, then they can hack into it and.
Yeah. It's true. So yeah, unfortunately, that feature is disabled. Any other questions? No?
Good.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thanks for
Thanks a
attending.
lot, you both.
Yep, thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Do you want us to stop the video? You want us to stop it?
Sure.
Okay. I think it was on the.
Good for us.
It's not on the board.
Or maybe it was on the-
That was really nice that we made it off. Otherwise, standing in front of that, you don't get too much real estate, like, especially each building and all those things, like making the lessons of activities, what using it.
Right.
I'm rather really.